24K movies. Really? Oh, live action? I'm gonna get right on it. Of course. Yeah? Alright. Thanks. Good looking out, mate. Welcome to 24K Movies, TV reviews, and gaming reviews. As you can tell by the phone, the Ninja phone, somebody called and just told me there is a new thing out to watch, because new things are few and far between. And not just because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, but because since 2023 began, there's been very few TV series to sink our teeth into. So it's good to see that one comes along that is very ambitious, I should say. Now, One Piece, I've played the games. I've never watched the anime, but I know nothing about it. So I went in with absolutely zero ideas of who the character was, who the storyline was. So I went in with an open palette, which honestly is how you should jump into anything. I mean, adaptations are another thing altogether. And I heard people saying, this is like one of the best adaptations I've ever seen in my entire life. And not having anything to compare it to, the anime, I'm going to say as a standalone. So this is a standalone review. From a standalone review, I give this a platinum rating. I started watching it and I binge watched the entire series. And you know, in order to keep my attention to binge watch, it is binge worthy. And this series was binge worthy. The characters afterwards, because it prompted the animation, so I was able to see the exact characters that I just watched in the animated form. And I'm going to say they did spot on. Besides the big, bulky, round eyes, the characters look spot on. And like I said, without comparing to that, I'm just giving you a straight, brutal, honest opinion. No kind of endorsements or anything like that. The main character, Monkey D. Luffy, I give this kid credit. He's entertaining. He looks like the character. And there's just something about this kid's smile. He's the main reason why you want to be interested in the story. And they did a great casting job for this guy. Now, he may be an actor, but I've never heard of him before. The other ensemble cast of people, I've seen one here or there, yonder. Here's person here and there, yonder. So there were a few actors and actresses that I did recognize that did a phenomenal job. Absolutely in here. And I would say they did a great job blending silliness with drama. There are some bloody moments in this. So this is by far means not a kid's series. There are decapitations, lacerations, bodies being split, smashed, murders. There is outright death in this series. So if you're thinking it's a fun time for your kids, you might want to think again. This series is bloody. But at the root of the story, it is a heartfelt story about friends and being able to see in other people what they can't see in themselves. And that's where this story is really grounded, despite the far-off adventures and the journey and the wild exploration, because every single episode has a different story, and the One Piece logo fits that story. So I give them credit for that alone. It's almost like the Lord of the Rings from the Amazon series. It's set alone, and from people I understand who are hardcore fans of the series, they said it deviates from the series, but in a good way. So that's good, because it's not always the best thing to be able to tell what's going to happen verbatim, chapter to chapter to chapter to chapter. It seems like some studios are starting to get it now, adapting something from one medium to the other medium. Quite recently, we saw The Last of Us, which was done beautifully. And if you played the game verbatim, I mean, you still have people who are going to bitch and say this is bad and I didn't like this and I like that. You know what? You guys, you're just not happy. You'll never be happy. Nothing will satisfy you. But if you overlay that TV series with the actual game verbatim, you will see attention was paid. High detail was paid. Same thing with One Piece. Literally, the promotional video they put on right after it was from the anime, and just watching the promotional video, I was like, oh wow, they did exactly what they did in the anime in real life. So that was pretty awesome. So that was, like I said, that was awesome. The story revolves around, like I said, Monkey D. Luffy going around collecting friends, wanting to be the king of pirates. That is his dream. And along the way, he encounters a bunch of people in their lives, and he sees something in them that they don't see in themselves, and it's inspiring for him and them to work together and ultimately become this Straw Hat pirate gang, which they're known for throughout the Seven Seas. I really liked each episode. Each episode was a different experience, and I did like it. There were a few draws that I could take away from it back and forth, but other than that, I absolutely enjoyed it. I really did. Not too many series can hold my attention from episode 1 through the entire ending of it. This is one of the ones that I binge watched on a night that I had to go to work too. So just let you know something. I binge watched it on a night that I had to go to work, which lets you know it held me. Because normally I'd be like, I'll hold it off to another day and I'll finish this part and that part. I wanted to see where the story went, and pleasantly surprised, I'm glad I did. When you get down to the end of the story, there is huge opportunity for a second season, which if they did, I would definitely be a part of. The first numbers coming in was that they spent about $124 million on this series, and they more than made it back in viewership and ratings so far. So it's got an excellent shot of a season 2. Whether or not that happens remains to be seen. I'm pretty sure this was shot before the SAG strike, which is going on now, and I hear that it's spilling onto the gaming arena. So yes, it's now starting to affect gaming as well as TV shows, movies, writers, actors. So now it's spilling over into the domain of us, the gamers, the nation. Attention should be paid, and I do agree that a fair wage, not just for actors, not just for writers, and not just for television writers and producers and actors and gamers, and I think everybody should have a livable wage. If you work to live, you should be able to survive on that wage. And that is the problem with everything monetarily, is that you have to talk about what is just, what is fair, what is equitable, and what is possible. The problem is that the people who hold the ideals on what is possible, what is probable, and what is likely have all the money. So to them, it doesn't matter. To them, they don't care. They don't care about where their next paycheck comes from because they have buckets of money. They don't care about what's going to be made and what's going to give them revenue because they have big buckets of money. They don't care if their production flops or goes here, there, and yonder unless it's a huge sink into their pockets. That's the only time they pay attention. Having said that, I do feel sorry for the actors and actresses, producers and writers and screenwriters, and now the gaming industry. I do feel sorry for everybody involved in this, but this is something that us in the world, not a part of that universe that you are a part of, have been dealing with for a very long time now. Inflation, the cost of living, life, a livable wage, a fair wage. This is something we deal with all the time, and yet and still we take our meager, small earnings and go to the theaters, go to the places, and put money in your pocket so that you can live. So we do understand you. We have that commonality, 100%. And you asking for a livable wage is the same thing that we require, something that you yourselves demand, something we demand, and also. So this is where we have this commonality. But now that we share this common ground, it's an opportunity for you to draw closer to your fan base. Come closer to the people that feed you, that make you, that give you life in this industry, because the people above you do not have your back. The people below you are your base. That is what you're standing on. These are the people who will back you no matter what project you do, no matter where you go. If you have an independent company and you need investors and you need people and you need to make it funded, these are the people that will make that happen. I understand 4 or 5 people who are billionaires can easily do it, but those aren't the people that are watching your backs right now. So I'm amazed that in a time of this kind of financial crisis going through studios, monies, and revenues, that series like this are still going through. Actually, I found a few series. Gal Gadot has had a new movie that just came out. Like I said, a lot of these projects were filmed before the strike, so a lot of them aren't held consequence now to them. The Barbie movie is doing huge, I hear, all across the world. Unfortunately, it hit at a time where most of the actors and actresses now are not really profiting from the experience in it. And like I said, I do understand. It's not lost. You do, we watch, we enjoy. We take our money, we put it into you so that you can do more and you can live. But whether you make $1 million or whether you make $100 a week, there should be some commonality on livelihood and life and stock. Yeah, you have to live just like we have to live too, but we have less in our pockets than you do. So in order for us to fund your projects and your life, we have to believe in them, which is where straight bullshit should not be made. And that's the problem, because there are some studios that are putting out and cranking out just bullshit for the pure essence of bullshit, of having something out there. It's the old additive from Seinfeld. Why am I watching it? Because it's on TV. That's the thing. We don't need that. It's a quality over quantity thing. And so many projects have been pushed back and thrown back. Oh, this is coming out 2028. This is coming out now 2029. Look, you don't even know if the world will still be here then, let alone having people look forward to a movie 5 years or 4 years or 6 years away. So it seems like you're punishing the fans for this, but just remember, the more you push, the more there's pushback, and sooner or later something is going to break. It's like an earthquake when those plates hit each other. So much pressure pushing forward, they slide and they create an actual earthquake, and that's what's happening in our media system right now. So whether it's movie, television, games, pretty much everything across the industry right now is being affected. And the people who have the ability to affect these decisions and changes, they don't give a shit. They're showing that right now. This could have been over and done with. This really could have been over and done with. Some of the things that people are asking for, you taking somebody's likelihood and face and features and using them in perpetuity forever based off of one payment, bullshit. But that's something we, on a consumer base, get exploited all the time out here in the industry. We always get exploited. If you've ever worked at a retail store, if you ever worked cashier, these livable wages, these industry jobs that people work the most because that's what around them and that's what's available, these are the people suffering every single last day. So these people want an escape. They need an escape. And this is what they look to. They look to their movies. They look to their games. They look to their TV shows. They look to these things to give them escape so that they're not on a clock tower somewhere with a high-powered tension rifle looking to take it out on the world. So we get you guys. But now you're brought to our level. So there is some commonality between you guys and us for the first time. All I'm saying is, as you're in negotiation to better your life, which you should be, that's everybody's objective, don't forget your fan bases in these things. Don't forget the people who are supporting you with their last dollars, people who don't have the ability to support you but are doing it with their last dollars because they need an escape. They need a way to get through your media. And this is what's being lost. There is a human element in all of this that's being lost. But that's besides the point. I don't want to get into politics of anything of like that. So we're talking about One Piece. And like I said, the fact that a show like this can come along, the originality, the freshness of it, the ability, the escapism, everything in this show just hits right, at the right place, at the right time. We're now starting to go into the months where we're coming into the holiday seasons again, and everybody's pockets are dying and coughing up dust. So it's really hard for everybody to get these sort of events where they can let loose and let their mind go for a while so that their stresses can subside enough so that they can work another day and go another day and make it another day. One Piece was a great series in this aspect. I was able to lose a few hours of my time, not thinking about anything else, not having anything else in my mind, but here I was. Sooner or later, we'll all be brought back to reality of money, denominations, streaming service prices, everything, inflation, everything comes back to us. But for moments in time, those little moments are what we can hold on to push forward to the next event. It gives us the ability to de-escalate enough to keep going forward. And this is where media like this is so important. So Netflix series One Piece, I highly recommend it. I highly ask you to watch it. It's best with an open mind. I mean, even if you watch the anime and you know about the anime, you can watch it and enjoy it. I'm sure you can. I mean, I played Last of Us and I watched Last of Us and I enjoyed it. But going into this not knowing anything, just from a pure perspective of just watching, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, so there it is. One Piece is going to get a platinum rating from us, and we look forward to future endeavors to the people who push this forward and the cast and crew, and maybe a season 2. So I had to get this out there because we just watched it literally a day ago, and it's still fresh and strong in my mind. And it's the type of series that I would watch again. Yes, easily rewatchable. The characters, the abilities, the way they blend, the impossible with the possible, the gum arms. It's like a cartoon that was brought into life, and that's what a live adaptation of an anime is. Get it? 100% verbatim. They did the job. And it deserves uplifting. So here in the Game Dojo, we give One Piece platinum rating. Watch it, enjoy it, and I look to see more from the cast. From the Game Dojo, I am your host, and this has been 24K Movies, Games, and Reviews, saying One Piece, 2 thumbs up, 5 ninja stars across the board. Watch and enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming from you. I know right now there's not a lot of media out there, but it also gives us time to dive into those little gems, those little jewels that not too many people have watched or got into, but we can jump into them and give you our opinion. Like I said, our opinion is not bought or paid for, so these are strictly the views of us, from us, for us, by us. No bullshit. I'll check you guys out next time.